talk about personal branding. All right. So what does it mean to you when I say personal branding? Does it mean that I walk around with an Ivan Sutton shirt and an Ivan Sutton hat and mug? What does personal branding mean to you? Well, looks like that. Okay. All right. Well, okay. So
Okay, I'll talk
okay,
Go ahead.
because I can just see you struggling there.
Yeah, I'm struggling, right?
It's all about you, right? What is it that makes you special? What is it that you do that makes someone want to deal with you rather than the next guy who's doing the same thing?
Absolutely.
Right, and that's what it's about. It's I always, when I meet with somebody, the first time I was stressed. First of all, that first meeting, I'm just going to get to know you. I can't try and sell you something because it wouldn't be right. I don't know who you are. I don't know what your needs are yet. I have to learn who you are. What are your needs? Then once in that first meeting, I can identify some of those things. And when I meet you the second time, then we're going to go and talk about that specific thing and go into detail on it. When I meet with you the third time, then I can show you some potential solutions to what your issue is, what you're trying to solve. But if you don't take the time to get to know somebody and find out what their needs are, even if they buy something from you, they're probably going to cancel it because they don't know what the value is.
Right.
When somebody purchases a solution from me, I want them to feel like I've solved the problem for them. I'm giving them something that's of value to them. I don't want to sell something to people. I want them to buy something because they know they need it. They know what the value is. They know what it's going to do.
But that's for your product, though. We're talking about for you. What is your
No, but that is about it, because there are people who will sit there and say, Ivan, you know what? Let's just get together and we'll do a quick life insurance policy. I'll just do X dollars for you. Okay, it's great that you got something, but was it the right amount? Was it the right type?
Okay.
Right? And if you don't spend the time to find out what the goals are, what we're trying to solve, you can't solve the problem. And if you can't solve the problem, the person who's on the other end of that goes, that person just sold me something, but I'm not really sure why I have it.
Right.
Like, I don't know what it does for me.
Right.
Right. And that's where you can differentiate yourself, taking those steps, building the relationship, making sure you know what your clients' needs are so that you can actually fulfill them.
Okay, John?
Yeah, so I think I'm piggybacking off of what Michael said, and I would use the word personality. Basically, you know how each person has personality, but then brand is more like personality of the company. So for me, it's like when I think about a brand, I just think about what's the first thing about that company that I think about? Is it the logo, is it the values? Is it the voice or tone they're giving off? Yeah.
Right. Okay. All right. Megan.
Thanks. For me, I think personal branding, the way I would define it, it goes back to what I said last week. So I use the 3C principle. So connect, communicate, and collaborate. So the way you connect and the way you communicate with people, I guess, is the real definition of your personal brand. So how you project yourself, how you talk to people. It's not about selling at all. It's about talking to people and get people to know who you are. I think this is, I believe, the first critical sort of creating a personal brand, of communicating who you are, so you connect and you communicate. This is, I believe, the two main pillars of a personal brand, right? So for example, in my case, I use my brand as Magan Action Coach. It has got my name in it. And, I have been doing that for the last 15, 16, 17 years. I've always connected my business to my name. So I create my business identity with my name. Some people say that is not the best way to do it. I've got many people tell me, hey, you should separate your personal brand with a business identity, because I've been in the last 15-20 years working more or less on a solopreneur formula. So I thought it was important for me to connect my business with me. And the
Right.
way I connect with people, the way I communicate with people is all about my business, right? So I think your personal brand is strongly connected to who you are and how you talk to people. If you have a big corporate, you are a big bank. This is something different. But in the small business arena, I think we are all carrying our personal brand.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So here's everybody has a personal brand. Everybody. I was just talking with Cass earlier. Uh, just like a corporate brand, right? Your people are going to perceive you in a certain way, right? Whenever you bump into somebody, you say, "Oh, so what do you think about that guy?" Right? If you ask that to 20 people about a specific person, there's going to be consistencies in how they perceive that person, because and whether that person has crafted that brand deliberately, or it's just, it just is just the way that people perceive them. That is your personal brand. So it says, by taking charge of your personal brand, you can determine what people think and feel when they interact with you, right? You can actually craft that. If you're disciplined, you can actually craft that. Okay. Your reputation. So it's basically your reputation, but then we're going to take it a step further and say that it's your reputation as a business. Okay. So skills and expertise, values and beliefs, communication style and personality. Do you know that marketing is about communication, right? How do I communicate my message to you or to the audience, to the larger marketplace? And some people are more effective at communicating than others. Some people use tools like web design and everything else to get that message out, but we're just trying to find better ways of communicating our message to others. But sometimes you'll find somebody that has a personal brand that is antagonistic to their business brand. Have you ever met anybody like that, where their personal brand does not align with what they're trying to sell as a business? Anybody? We found people that are saying, I just don't know why it's not working out for me. But
Yeah.
you know exactly why it's not working out for them? Anybody
Yes.
here?
Yes, me.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be pretty crappy if I didn't figure that out with my clients. So,
Right. So yeah,
yeah.
that's right, because you have to evaluate to be able to get them past that spot and turn them into profitable businesses, right? So
Yeah.
So yeah, you have to look at things and say, there's a mismatch here. And so then you can, like a chiropractor, somebody should use that, a branding chiropractor, right? To align things, right? You can actually fix the problems in your communication if you identify what your personal brand is, or you craft it as well as your business brand. Go ahead, Ali.
I think when it comes to any sort of personal brand, I find, and even working with clients or with anyone that any professional that I come in contact with on a file, I also think it's the ability to take some valid criticism that comes into it, because oftentimes people will say, oh, well, this makes no sense. Like sometimes you might look at someone's website and say, oh, that doesn't make any sense. Or you look at their Instagram page, that doesn't make any sense. And it's when somebody gets that valid criticism and they go, well, how dare you? My content is perfectly fine. It makes perfect sense to me. They don't take that other perspective into it. Like you were saying earlier, the perception of things, right? So, we never stop learning. And I think when it comes to personal branding and everything, like you still have to take that criticism in some respect when it's valid. I mean, sometimes people just like to be mad about things and you just kind of shove it off. But other times it's like, oh, well, maybe I should consider that.
Yeah, very important. Absolutely. It's funny. It's sometimes hard to take criticism if it's about your ego, but if it's about profitability and success, then it's easy to take that criticism, because you know what? I wouldn't want to spend one more moment going in the wrong direction if somebody can correct me and go, hey, you're going in the wrong direction. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I can go for miles and miles, years and years in the wrong direction, and then realizing that later is painful. Go ahead, Michael.
Someone once said this to me, and they were absolutely right. And here's the quote: "Only a fool proofreads their own content." You cannot proofread your own content
Right.
because you are only thinking about you. You need somebody else to walk in and look at your content with an unbiased opinion and say, this isn't going to work because of this, or that isn't. So when somebody says something to you, instead of just discounting it, think about what they're saying and try to put yourself in the shoes
Ah,
of somebody else who's just looking at your site the first time,
right.
because you may be not projecting what you actually think you are and what you actually want to project.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Okay, so listen, I want you to think about this next question. Cass, I'm going to ask you first, just because I just want to pick on you today. So here it is. So tell us about the fire inside you that compelled you to start your business. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah, I'm thinking back. It's not that long ago for me. It's something that I think I've always done. I bill myself as an abundance coach, and the idea is that in your life there is so much abundance right now. We all live in North America. We all have privilege, and we are all full of abundance. But it's that mindset where people are stuck looking at lack, the things they don't have, the things they are reaching for. It's great to have goals, but it's also great to recognize what's right here in your hands right now.
Beautiful.
And that's something that I think I've always had in my life. I wake up every morning early and I'm excited about the day. And so when I get the opportunity to work with somebody who is struggling and then see them flourish, see them, open like a flower, and the difference from when we first met to after we've worked together, that makes my heart sing. There's just there's just nothing as beautiful as that for me.
Fantastic. But anybody else, you think to the fire that you had, like, oh, I'm going to create a business. It's going to do this and it's going to help people do this. And remember that? Remember that? Five people said, oh man, here comes Lindsay, or here comes Peter. He's going to talk about that thing. He's got so much enthusiasm. I just can't take it. Go ahead, Megan.
Thanks. For me, at some point in my career, I've been in corporate world a lot, 25 years plus in the banking and finance sector. At some point, you get mad at the corporate culture. You get mad at the ladder. You get mad at the KPIs, and they keep measuring your performance day in, day out, because in the corporate world, it's all about performance. They don't care about who you are and what is your place in society, what is your personal situation, right? So big corporates, especially in the banking and financial work, it's all about how much you're bringing to the bottom line, right? So one day I said, hey, 25 years plus, I've got sufficient to go and do something for myself. So I've learned a lot in several organizations I work, and that sort of is already a goodwill for me to go and do something for my own. I said, hey, I'm not going to look back. Was I ready? Maybe not sure. Did I have the capital? No, definitely not. So if you wait to, say,
right.
hey, I want to have a plan. I want to have my capital. I want to have the training. I want to have everything ready, and then I will start in business. You will never do it, right? So if you feel confident, so the first important thing is how confident you are in going and developing yourself as a entrepreneur, if you want to put it that way. Then just go and do it, right? So other things will fall into place. The most important things is your confidence.
I absolutely agree. Okay, so folks, you've all heard it said, there are people that make things happen. There are people that watch things happen, and then there are people who go, "Hey, what happened?" Right? Which do you classify yourself? How many people say, "I'm the person who makes things happen"? Okay, good. How many people here say, "I'm the guy who typically I watch things happen"?
No way.
Okay, and then how many people here identify with the what happened? Really? Okay. All right. Wow. Okay. So what we're going to do here is we're going to have some fun, and we're going to just go through a checklist for for identifying your so if you have a piece of paper, this is great. You just take this. This is very fun. All right. Don't get too hard on yourself. It's just for fun. All right. And we're gonna help you to determine, or we're gonna give you the building blocks for you to put together an effective brand for yourself, a personal brand. Okay. By asking you some key questions. And I want you guys to have fun. And if anybody has Tourette's and you want to just shout out an answer to us, you can, if you want to be honest and share. But if not, you can keep this to yourself on your piece of paper. But yeah, if you feel like sharing, I wouldn't be upset. All right, so here we go. The first question is, what are the 3 main goals in your life? Not the 3 main goals in your life that you had yesterday, but the 3 main goals that you have in your life today. All right. In fact, I'm going to actually share screen so that you guys can actually see this page, and then you guys can, because I'm going to whip through some of these questions. No, I don't want to share. I don't want you guys to see the questions before I ask. Okay, here we go. In what situations are you most naturally yourself? In what situations are you most naturally yourself?
I'd say social.
Social. Yeah, social, right? We're
For
a
me,
type
it's
person.
one-on-one.
Okay, okay, all right.
When I'm meeting with people.
Yeah. Cool.
Group social, when we're all together. Like I like
Yeah. And you like being active too, Kevin, right?
like sports, you mean? Or
Like
just
golf and you're
Yeah.
out there. Yeah. You're at the game and yeah, for sure. Okay. So let's see.
Definitely playing when I'm playing,
Playing.
because
Okay.
I'm a kid.
Right. Okay. All right. Okay. So the next question is, what qualities in other people most annoy you?
People who brag about
Ah.
themselves.
Yeah,
Yes.
I was gonna say self-centered. Yeah.
Indecisive people.
All indecisive people, for sure, Michael.
Are we talking about clients or just people in general?
Just people in general.
People who ignore the facts.
Yeah, I was gonna say that, John.
people that think Earth's flat.
Okay.
People who intentionally make the same bad decisions over and over, even knowing that they're bad decisions.
And they're going to have the same outcome too.
Right. Okay. Wow, that's a good one. Okay. All right. Here's another one. What are your values?
Honesty.
Honesty's huge. Loyalty.
Yep.
Loyalty.
Community.
Truth.
Truth.
I'm gonna say one that no one's gonna say. Boundaries.
Boundaries. Okay. What is your why? Why are you doing it? Why are you in business?
To help others who can't help themselves.
To have fun and make money.
To have fun. That's
Yeah,
cool.
make
Make
money.
to make
right.
a genuine impact on people's health.
Yeah.
To fix problems.
To help people sleep better at night.
That's good. That's good, Michael.
To
Yeah,
help
serve out-
small businesses.
Enjoy time with the family, right? Like it's we all go to work so that we can do what we want to do with our money, whatever that is, whether it's snowmobiling like Michael or going on a vacation, or we all want to do different things, buying fancy cars or buying a big house or buying a small house, and you know what I mean, having whatever. We all do different things, that's for sure.
Who is your target audience? And you cannot say everybody. Be
Small
specific.
businesses.
Anyone who's confused by the health data that's out there.
Okay.
Landlords in Ontario.
I love that. That's specific.
Depending on anyone in the travel sector. Or on the for the Maggie Chic business, anyone who feels they need an upgrade in their style or fashion, you know, and wants a little bit of help and hates to shop.
Okay. Okay. What 3 words do you typically hear over and over again that describe how people perceive you?
You say them, Ivan. You say them to me all the time.
Blunt.
Yeah, loud, direct.
Yeah, those two.
Yeah. All right. Yes. It tells you something when
Personable.
if you want your brand to be I'm outgoing and social, and people say you're really introverted and you're quiet, and you're not hitting the mark. Okay. Let's see. If you could distill your key message down into one sentence and not a run-on sentence, what would your key message be?
Think before you eat.
Mm. Okay.
You mean like a tagline, Ivan?
Yeah, but your key message to people. You wear that key message. You behave that key message. What is your key message?
My message is I help businesses thrive and shine in a dynamic environment.
Okay. Is your personal persona different from is your public persona different from the real you? And if yes, why?
No.
It's become the real me over the years because I do it so often.
Right. Okay.
Definitely in my case.
Okay.
I would say no for good or bad.
Good.
I can't answer that. It might incriminate me and people might do business with
Yeah. Okay. What separates you from other individuals who do what you do?
honesty.
Does what I do.
Yes. What separates you from other individuals that do what you do?
I was told the other day to answer my phone.
My passion, the way I connect with people.
Okay. All right, we're down to the last 3 questions. All right, give 3 words you think about yourself. 3 words you think about yourself. All right, give 3 words that your family thinks about you.
I think my family think I'm a little cray cray.
That's okay. I think you're a little cray cray for sure. It's okay.
I'm right there with
Confirmed.
You have to be a little cray cray to run a business. A little.
Yeah.
You have to be a little cray cray to run. All right, and the last question is: give 3 words you think your clients and colleagues think about you.
I think those would be better than my family.
They think I'm completely bonkers, but I know how to get them results, so they trust me anyways.
Right. Okay. So this is one of those that you're supposed to, probably not in an audience setting like this, to go through and evaluate, and it tells you something, because sometimes when you think about I see myself a certain way, and then I get together with Catherine and other folks, and they say they tell me that they perceive me a different way, and I'm like, really? Like, how is that? It's I don't understand, but that's how you you present yourself, right? And so are you managing your brand properly? Do you have a clear understanding of who you are and how other people perceive you and how effective you are in the industry that you're in, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? It's really important, right? So now, if you could perfect your brand just based on everything that you're seeing in the questions that we asked, right? If you could think about those and then impact your the way that you present yourself or shift your ideas of your personal brand, in what direction would that shift be? Would it be more towards um, uh, more towards being more energetic and social, being more quiet and you know reserved? Would it be more towards spending time with family and adding that component to your day more, or would it be to spend more time effectively running your business? What would you where would your head be at with that? Allie, I'm gonna pick on you first on this one.
I don't know. I think after the events of the last 7 months, I think I'm actually feeling a lot more balanced. Because my position, I've got a lot of flexibility, and then I was like, yeah, you know what? This is a good reminder of why I went this route from the beginning. I wanted something that I could have more balance, that I didn't have to be stuck in an office at a 9 to 5 and work the grind. So, yeah.
Does anybody here wish that you could do the 9 to 5? Anybody? Really? Lindsay, I'm shocked. Okay.
I'd rather do the 7 to 3.
Or the 7-3. Like, how many people here would prefer you say, look, it's just too hard. I just want to get up in the morning, get in my car, go to a job, let somebody else worry about paying the bills, just cut me a check at the end of the week, and I'm good. How many people feel that way? That they would just
No way.
Not exactly that. What I want is either control my time or a predictable schedule.
Okay.
What I hate is unexpected overtime and 9 to 5s that are really like 7 to 6s and that kind of thing.
Okay, interesting. Okay, so is there something sexy about getting up and going and having somebody else say, this is when you're going to show up for work, this is how long your break is, this is when you're back from lunch, but at least you don't have to worry about making the number of sales that you need for the month? Is there something sexy about that?
So my wife has always had a paid job, right? She's a nurse. She goes to work. She gets a salary. And she loves that consistency, where in my world, she hates the fact that it's either up or it's down or it's in or it's out. And she has no idea sometimes. The consistency just isn't always there, right? But in my life, I've never had a 9 to 5. I started in the restaurant industry when I was 13 and real estate from 30 on. And I've never got paid to be sick. I think that's awesome. When you can tell me you're going to pay me 80% of my wage to sit at home on a couch and watch TV, I've never got that in my life. Like, my sister's a teacher, the amount of sick days she gets and personal days and, I don't want to do something days. I've never had those. And that is the one thing that I'm jealous of, but I would never give up what I have. There's pros and cons to everything. And we always want what we don't have, right? We said that at the beginning. Catherine said, we always look at or Cass said, sorry, that we're trying to look and get about what we don't want. And if we would just realize, hey, I have all this, and the comparison is always to what we want, not to what we have.
Okay, John.
Yeah, like I tried the 9 to 5 when I was younger, but it didn't work for me because I'm still working in the mornings and even after work and everything, but none of that was paid for. I'm still going to hackathons and stuff. So I thought, why don't I just do I mean, I'm working pretty much 16 hours every day, but I'm only paid 9 to 5. So I didn't like that. So I just started my own business.
Smart. Go ahead, Megan.
Yeah, I've never liked the 9 to 5. I've always hated working on a sort of structured formula. You start at 9 and you go to lunch at 12, you come back at 1, and then you leave at 5. I've hated that always all my life, simply because it doesn't really build, if you want to put it that way, the productivity scale. Because I think productivity is more important than keeping an eye on the watch, right? So I always have been looking at productivity more than looking at the time, right? So even when I turned into a business consultant like 15 years ago, so I have been very energetic and I focus my energy on what the client needs, right? So working from Canada, I work into Africa. So I have a huge 7-8 hours time difference. So I have to adjust myself, right? So if I need to work at midnight, 2 o'clock in the morning, I do it. And then I can adjust my day here, right? So it's all about, your level of energy. This is one thing. Secondly is your productivity. And thirdly is the outcome, right? If you are a small business person, at the end of the day, you work for the benefit of your client, right? So I've put that scale into my life and I balance it well. So if I need to take rest during the day, I do it, right? But if I have to, and because this is where my market is, I need to work late night and early morning, I do it. So it's your own sort of adjustment where I think somebody mentioned about the work-life balance. There's always possibility of creating a work-life balance, even you work in different time zones. Yeah.
Right. Okay, Lindsay.
Yeah, so the 9 to 5 doesn't scare me because it's like what basically my partner does, and he's also a business owner because he works in construction and nobody wants him working late into the night at their house, obviously. But there's always been a balance of like where I've always worked, like for a company, because my partner couldn't get benefits and I always could. So, but what's funny is that over the years of having benefits, we never used them enough. Like we were basically spending more money having them than actually using them. So I was like always in this mindset of like I had to work like a job that would have that for me. But now that we've kind of like gotten ourselves out of that mind frame, basically, it's completely different. And that's why the 9 to 5 doesn't scare me. Cause like I said, if I worked like 1 to 7, I would barely see him because of that. So it didn't make any sense. That's why I like the like rhythm, basically.
Right. Okay. All right, Heather.
Yeah, I work basically 9 to 5. I work out of an office, so I think I'm probably different than most people here, even though I am an entrepreneur. So yeah, Megan kind of stole all my thunder. I totally agree with what he said. Was you do what your clients need you to do. There's many times where I am working later, or I go home and I work. And I think that's the flexibility. It's different when you have the mindset that you're doing it for yourself versus somebody else. You're doing it because you want to do it and not because you have to do it, which gives a total different vibe as to why you're working and how you're working.
Absolutely. Yeah. That was a really good comment up there, Megan. Maggie, go ahead.
Okay, well, like I've done, well, not so much 9 to 5. I've never had an office job or anything like that. I did a lot of, I used to do a lot of stuff, temp work where I was off. And I used to hold a dumb looking sign and tell traffic where to go. And there you're looking at 7 to, 5, 6, depending on time of year. And that was okay when I was younger. But I've also done a lot of retail. And retail can be crazy schedules because especially if you're working in a mall, because most malls are open to about 9:30 or something o'clock at night, and sometimes the afternoons, and it's all over. And it was a pain in the ass because even though you would know your schedule ahead of time, generally, you would be you couldn't plan things and things. And employers in retail, they expect you just to drop everything if they need you, or they expect you, they don't always take into consideration your own life. And that can be a real annoyance. I had one employer where I told her I am never available Wednesday nights. It's my racquetball night. And I pay for that, so I am not missing it. When she did go schedule me for Wednesday night, I turned her down and said, no, you were told right from the beginning.
So listen, here's a question for you. And Maggie, I used to work retail too, in a women's shoe store. And I hated the fact that because I was the new guy, they put me on the weekends. So my weekends all were gone all the time. Anyway, so here's a question for you. The next question I have is, how committed then are some of you to your business? if something better came along, would you drop your business and move on to something else?
No, I will never do that.
Okay.
I've been in for 15 years.
I talk about all the time to you how I would drop my job if Google hired me tomorrow. So, because if you guys have seen the Google facilities, they're fantastic.
Yeah, they're kind of cool. They're kind of cool. Okay. Okay. Go ahead, Heather.
Okay, so I have never solely worked for one company ever in my entire life, and that continues even today. I have multiple jobs. But I have to say, like, Denmark is my full-time job. It's where I spend the most amount of time. And if I had to give it up, it would have to be a really good reason why I'm doing it, why I'm doing that. Because I get fulfilled by doing everything that I do. And I am kind of in a tough place where, you know, why do I have multiple jobs? Because they are so different and they are balance each other up. One of the things that probably most of you don't know is I work as special ed tutor. And I was trained for that. I've done it for over 40 years. So would I ever give that up if I had to? No.
Okay, so
They balance me. So I love the fact that my multiple jobs balance me and allow me to express myself in multiple different ways.
So Heather, then here's a question though. When people see you, when I see you, like, I see you everywhere. Like you're everywhere.
I'm everywhere.
And I know that when I meet Heather, Heather is an entrepreneur through and through. You're out there, you're slogging it everywhere. You're in BizCon, you're doing, I look at networking events on, and all of a sudden I go, wait, is that Heather? Like, you're like in every picture. So your brand, if I were to define your brand, you are a serious, aggressive entrepreneur.
I hope not aggressive.
No, aggressive. What I mean that you're not passive about the success of your business, right? You're not passive about it. You're taking an active part daily.
Proactive.
Sure. Sorry. So who said that? What?
Proactive. I say proactive.
Yeah. You're proactive. Yes, that's a better word. Thanks, Megan. Yeah, you're very proactive when it comes to making sure that your business is seen and heard, and you're out there and relevant to people, and then you're always thinking about how you can align with people and collaborate on different things. So you're always thinking about your business. That's your brand. To me, I never see duplicity in your brand, the way that I perceive you. You are singular in the way that I look at you. So if I'm going to promote somebody, if I'm going to, the same way that most of you, I know exactly who you are, exactly what you do, and there's no duplicitous nature to your brand. You're that one thing. But have you ever met somebody where they are like, I do this and I do this and I do this, and they're actually in completely different quadrants of the universe. They're completely different areas, and you're thinking, somehow I'm just not feeling confident about referring you. Just because, your shoe shine, and you also are building a rocket to go to space, and you also bake. I just don't see how they align.
Yeah, it's kind of the expert in nothing, right?
In nothing, right? Yeah. So
yeah, at least most of my stuff aligns with everything that I do. It has something to do with marketing and branding and sales, right?
Absolutely.
Which is huge. But then you say, okay, wait a minute. One of the things I just said was I work with special needs students I have for 40 years. But they, as I said, they ground me. They take my day and I go, oh my gosh, that was a horrifying day I just had. And I go work with them in a totally different capacity. And I go, wow, did you ever have a bad day? Or, like, how could things be worse for me when, like, I look at you and how great you are, And so it reminds me all the time, it's the baby steps to success.
Yeah, beautiful. Okay, go ahead, Peter.
So to answer your question, by definition, if something better came along, it's better. So why wouldn't I choose it? I'm running a business because I perceive it as the best option for all my goals and preferences that I can attain right now. But if some 9-to-5 job came along that had decent flexibility, good, reliable income, will probably be there for many years, I probably would choose that. So yeah, I choose
Okay.
whatever's the best option at the moment.
I agree. Okay, I hear you. I hear you on that. Maggie, go ahead.
For me, okay, I will never completely give up on writing ever. I'm always going to write, always have, even though I didn't make it a business before. I've always done that, right? And I really do want to get Maggie Chic up and running. And there's some other creative outlets and things I want to do. I mean, it's all about creativity, my business. No matter what direction it goes in, and people, I know you think,
Yeah, I agree. That's good.
However, right now, because of my financial problems, because business isn't going as, all that well, I'm looking at getting another job, a regular kind of job, but not necessarily full-time. I'm hoping for part-time, but I'm looking at go back into retail again, even though I hate the idea. I enjoy certain aspects of retail. I actually love dealing with the customers and things like that.
Because you're social.
Yeah, I like that part of it. It's all the behind the scenes bullshit I can't stand.
Right. Yeah. No, I hear it. Beep. Okay. Go ahead, Teresa.
Workers backstabbing, that's another
Yeah. I get you. I get you.
So I like how if it's better, then you'd really have to figure out what aspects are better in that. But I like how Heather has different things going on, and we all have different needs and different aspects and different things that help us, kind of ground us or elevate us or whatever. But I also look at some of those jobs, whether they're 9 to 5 or entrepreneurship, is they teach you, each of those jobs teach you something that you need to learn that you don't have. So whether you've been to like 1,000 different 9 to 5 jobs over your life, each one of those jobs have taught you something that you're able to use in an entrepreneurial life or in the business that you've currently are at or are developing. So, sometimes those little jobs that you do have on the side are beneficial.
I agree with you 100%. Go ahead, Tal.
Hello, everybody. I'm super excited to see you all. What energy we have on this call. What Heather was speaking, I'm going to echo it a little bit. I've been to a Scarborough event and I met Heather. What I love about Heather is that I forget everything about what she does, but I never forgot her. She have unbelievable energy, unbelievable. And I believe the personal branding, this topic is so important that, as long as people remember you, they will remember what you do as well. And on that event, I don't know anybody else. All I know is just Heather. And then I called Ivan next week and I was speaking to Ivan about Heather. And I believe it's really, really important to just understand that personally promoting yourself is above and beyond everything else you do. Now, the topic of did I do any other jobs or do I like one focus, just doing one thing? Yes, absolutely yes. Today, I only do one thing for the last 3 to 4 years, but before that, I was doing multiple jobs, multiple works, and I was always all over the place, and I believe they all added value, as what Teresa said. But the reason why I do just one today, because the type of work I do, people need attention as fast as possible, and they need me all the time sometimes. So this is why I believe that the separated today is how quick and fast you can respond to people, so you can really be there when no other company or nobody else in the marketplace doing it, and that really adds a lot of value to people, and it separates you. Yes.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you very much for that. And I know that time has flown by. I just want you to think about 3 individuals. I'm not going to get into their stories, but 3 individuals that really stand out that are internationally known as being strong brands. Can anybody guess, like, who, if I were to say, name me 3 people that stand out to you that are well known worldwide as an international brand?
Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan. Absolutely. Who else?
Tony Robbins.
Who's that?
It was me, Tony Robbins.
Tony Robbins. Yeah, Anthony Robbins for sure. Yeah,
I said
Tiger Woods.
Seth Roth. Maybe you didn't know that.
Not really, no.
He's a writer, and he's all about marketing and branding.
Oh, is he? Okay.
Oh yeah,
I'll
can't
have
believe
to-
you don't know.
I'll have to look that up. Yeah, for sure. How about Oprah? Right, everybody knows Oprah, right? I have in here, who else? My favorite, Elon Musk. Everyone's going boo, Elon Musk, boo. Okay, and also Richard Branson is another one that the top three, actually, when I looked up the strongest brands in the world, the top three were Oprah Winfrey, Elon Musk, and Richard Branson. Right. So
Hey, you forgot somebody.
oh, Taylor Swift.
Evan.
Oh, you Megan Juggernaut. No, who?
Yeah,
That's
you
right.
forgot Megan.
That's right.
He's the one.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, listen, thank you everybody for coming on the call. Catherine will be back next week. Join me on Thursday for Tech Talk, and of course, you know there's an event tomorrow in Mississauga tomorrow evening. Come on out to Mississauga. Join us for. By the way, that place has got some great pasta. Anyway, hopefully I'll see you guys there. All right, take care, everybody. Thanks for joining.
Have a blessed day, everybody.
Thank
What
you.
time?
Thank you.
Tomorrow 5:30 to 9:30.
5:30.
5:30 to 7 o'clock. Sorry, 5 to
And
7.
if anybody wants to